What's the best way to tell someone that their baby is ugly? Do people with ugly babies know their baby is ugly? When my little sister was a baby, she had quite an ugly face. My grandparents thought as much, so instead of calling her a pretty baby or a cute baby, they called her a nice baby, because apparently she smiled a lot. Moral of the story: whenever you see an ugly baby, but you don't want to make the parents feel too bad about it, call it a nice baby. Wanna hold it? No thanks. Put it back in. It's not done yet. The baby is breathtaking. We'll look out for this. Our baby is 2 days old and looks like a 40-year-old accountant. He literally looks like he was born with a receding hairline and a sour demeanor. I got in before the Winston Churchill comments. My stepmom once went to see a friend's baby in the hospital and told the parents it was the ugliest baby she's ever seen. I'm pretty sure they're still friends, so it worked. He looks like K-Lau. After taking a look at the baby, ask the parents if they are related, or they look just like you. Deep web surfers of Reddit, what is the most bleeped up thing you have seen of the deep web? You may be surprised that some of it can already be found on Reddit. Go through 50 to 50 and you will find plenty of mutilated corpses. That being said, searching with Tor is at the same as any other browser. You can still get to any website you already go to. The most notable one you can't normally reach would be Silk Road 3.0. That's pretty much the black market Walmart. Arms, drugs, fake kids, and very inefficient hitmen can all be bought there. Hitmen from Silk Road demonstrate very low success rates and are often caught. They also ask for very low prices, about 20k is typical, and often won't even attempt to kill the target. Unless you are actively hunting for bleeped up bleep or are on a Widow's chat room, you won't find anything much. Mostly it's drugs and child porn as well as scams and some norm sites. It's not as exciting as you think. That being said, you can find weird bleep occasionally. A mother is selling porn videos for a quest with her really underage daughters. One is around 14, the other is around 8, not sure though. It might be fake, because they actually advertised it with their face and all, like a proper ad. But they advertise that they can do any crazy sexual thing for a quest. Basically no limits, and even do meet up if you pay extra. Of course it's all for Bitcoin. I hope it's fake, or if it isn't, then I really hope the children were taken from the mother and the mother was locked away. Making your own underage daughter a sex slave is, I think, the most disgusting / disturbing things ever. Sure, mutilated bodies are not a nice thing to see as well, but that feels a lot less wrong to me. Most of the worst bleep on the internet, aside from the rampant issue with child porn on the dark web, which I have thankfully never come across, is also found on the surface web. Watched a video 2 days ago of an Indian man who had been cut in half by a train and was trying to move as he bled out, and a crowd of people watched. Found it without having to leave Reddit. Edit. Also, the deep web refers to anything that cannot be found with a search engine and makes up the majority of content on the internet. You are thinking of the dark web, which is completely separate from the surface web and can only be accessed via onion routing, a site where people uploaded videos of people being raped. Often they were homemade by the opus. It's bad enough to think that these people upload videos like this, but what really horrifies me is that there's obviously an audience for it. Edit. Please nobody else message me asking for the site name or address. A lot of drugs. The coolest was a rocket launcher, but there's child porn and that bleeps messed. I've seen ads for hitmen, but I usually write them off as scams as there's little personal accountability on the dark web, so scams are in abundance. Always be skeptical of vendors and ads on any dark net market. The most bleeped up thing is definitely CP. I avoid markets that have any of that kind of bleep like the plague. The deep web doesn't work like that. It's not like you log in and websites full of drugs and kiddie porn start popping up all over the place. You would have to actively search those things out. I have seen more bleeped up stuff on Reddit before they banned Watch PRPD than I've ever seen on the deep web. Just reading about Peter Scully on Wikipedia is more horrifying than anything you'll see on the deep web. The New Zealand shooting was pretty crazy. Counterfeit money was surprisingly expensive IMO. I once saw 25 pounds of coke for sale for 250,000k. Spend a little too long trying to figure out how to round up the money, yeah no. Because of the sale. Once upon a time I had Onion browser and roamed the dark web. Honestly, the only cool thing I ever found was the standard dark web black market. I feel that is everyone's first stop because it's pretty widely known about. Buy guns, drugs, hire an assassin or hacker. At this point it could just be FBI waiting for morons to try and buy something. Other than that, I've seen a few super strange videos, but every time they turn out to be some edgy one Abe film student's dumb film. Realistically, really similar to this. https://www.youtube.com/watch v=tqvm9xq. Imo, it's overrated. What's the best thing to tell someone who cut in line? Just go cut back in front of them. Like, walk up, sorry excuse me, like it's totally normal. I prefer to pretend they didn't see the line, which can occasionally happen with a bunch of long lines, especially if they leave a space for people to get by. I just politely point out the line. From the old television show Dead Like Me. */ a woman cuts in line at the post office. **RUBE. Afternoon, ladies. Are you two old friends? Woman: A. Her daughter is in my son's class. **RUBE. I have a question for you. Is everyone in this line an asshole? Woman: excuse me? **RUBE. Is everyone you just cut in front of an asshole? Woman: no. **RUBE. So it's just you then. Woman: I have children in the car. **RUBE. I have a cake in the oven. He's got 3 minutes left on the meter. She's got a lunch meeting. We all have a finite amount of time. Now get in the back of the line. And don't use your children like that. It's shameful. Oh, I bleep, get the bleep back to your place before I drop ya. Excuse me, sorry, you probably didn't realize the start of the queue is back there. A point is usually enough to shame them, and if not, it makes it obvious to others that they're aware of what they've done. Cutting in line, the one crime the UK retains the death penalty for. **GUIS clear the way. We have a VIP coming through. I use this one every time. Is everyone in this line an asshole? No. Oh, so it's just you then. Source material: https://www.youtube.com/watch v=ywso7c5snq0. No words need be said. Whoever is directly behind the cutter cuts in front. Then the next person behind that person cuts the cutter. Then the next, and so on until the bleep is in the back where they belong. What are they going to say? Here's how that conversation goes. Hey, there's a line here. Oh, is there? Furious stare. Start coughing as harshly as possible, right towards the back of their neck. Then say bleep. I knew that trip to West Africa was a mistake. Historians of Reddit, what is the biggest bleep you moment in history? A pirate known as Jane Leffert had a bounty of $500 put on him by a governor. So he put a $5,000 bounty on the governor. Napoleon invited his brother-in-law to speak with him before his coronation as emperor to remind the brother-in-law that he objected to Napoleon marrying Josephine because Napoleon would amount to nothing. So when France exiles Napoleon Bonaparte the first time, they didn't think to change out military personnel. So he basically rolls up to the first French outpost he gets to, says backquotes up, and begins reassembling an army. By the time he gets to Paris, he's got enough forces that France is like, well, welcome back. British prisoner of war in Nazi Germany stitches a quilt. The Nazis put it out for show. Hidden in Morse code, stitched in were the words bleep Hitler and God Save the Queen. https://www.telegraph.co.uk/news/9000904/British prisoner of war stitched hidden anti-Hitler message into Nazi quilt.html. Edit. God Save the King. I think I just had the Queen song stuck in my head. I would say the moment that Rollo swore allegiance to the French king. The bishops present suggested that Rollo kiss the king's foot as a sign of submission. It was probably an idea intended to humiliate Rollo, and was not taken very well. After some discussion, it was agreed that one of Rollo's men would do it. However, the person chosen lifted the king's foot and, without bending down, brought it up to his mouth. Not surprisingly, the king fell over amid general laughter in the court. Following this amusing scene, the king and his men swore to honor the concession to Rallo. https://www.durhamworldheritagesit.com/history/Normans/founding Normandy. https://www.durhamworldheritagesit.com/history/Normans/founding Normandy. This is already one of my favorite threads in Reddit history. Galvarino http://www.badasofttheweek.com/galvarino.html. Chilean warrior who had both his hands cut off by the conquistadors for raising arms against the Spanish. Instead of letting himself serve as a message of helplessness in the face of the invaders, the crazy bleep strapped swords to his stumps and went on the warpath. This requires some background. The Spartans were famously blunt. They were trained to get to the point when speaking, instead of using artsy and beautiful language that would have been common at the time, by being bitten on the thumb if they became long-winded. Now to the meat. Philip II of Macedon, Alexander the Great's father, sent the Spartans a letter saying, "Would you like me to enter your land as friend or foe?" The Spartans responded with one word: neither. Philip was irate. He then sent another long-winded message: "If once I enter into your territories, I will destroy you all, never to rise again." The Spartans then sent back one word: "If." It was like putting your head in a lion's mouth, and I love it. In the 1970s, a small town of Vulcan, West Virginia asked for state funding to replace a bridge into town. The state legislature refused to grant Vulcan the funding they needed. Instead, the town appealed to the Soviet Union for aid. After hearing about the request, the state legislature immediately granted over $1 million for the town to build a new bridge. If a small town in WV asking for Soviet funding in the middle of the Cold War isn't a big middle finger to the state government, then I don't know what is. On the crowning of King Henry VII, he backdated his own reign to before the date of the Battle of Bosworth, meaning anyone who was loyal to him now, but had shown any sign of opposition at Bosworth, was now a traitor and an enemy to the realm. Justice served. In the late 1980s, Nintendo and Sony developed a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo. Nintendo then pulled out of the partnership and opted to work with Philips instead and released the CDI. This move was highly frowned upon because Nintendo had decided to ditch a fellow Japanese company over a foreign one. So Sony picked up the pieces of the project and tried to partner with Sega. The board of directors turned the idea down, saying that's a stupid idea. Sony doesn't know how to make hardware. They don't know how to make software either. Why would we want to do this? At the end, Sony released a game system by the name of PlayStation in 1994 to compete with the Nintendo 64 and outsold their former partners nearly 3:1. Plus, it marked the first time that Nintendo wasn't top dog since they released the Northeasts. What's the best thing to say when you're on a public bathroom and someone knocks the door? I always say seats taken, like that kid on the bus in Forrest Gump. Anybody else do a preemptive fake cough as someone approaches your stall? Kind of a warning. Wow, people actually knock. I've only witnessed them violently trying to open the door. Come back with a warrant. I just knocked twice in response instead of saying anything. *BLEPSLOUDER*. Come in. Ah yes, I've been waiting for you. I said to meet here at 5:45 PM. It's 5:15 PM right now. I'm still getting ready. Don't say nothing and just knock back.